Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, j'ai le plaisir d'accueillir l'actrice, réalisatrice et créatrice de contenu Star Wars, Ray Kennex, avec nous. Elle nous allons parler de son parcours et dans l'univers Star Wars, de ses fans, de ses fan-films Fulcrum et Sakura, et de son travail de réalisatrice et actrice, ainsi que ses projets à venir. Donc, hi Ray, thank you so much for being here today with me.
Merci. Thank you for
Uh,
having me.
yeah, it's a pleasure. First, my first question for you, Ray. It's Can you introduce yourself to everyone watching?
Yes, so I'm Ray. I'm originally from Kiev, Ukraine, and now I've been living in Los Angeles, California for a few years. I started my creative journey with being a musician and then a singer,
Okay.
and that transitioned into cosplay and acting and eventually filmmaking. But I have a very diverse background of all the things I've done, and now I'm using all of that to create art and to hopefully to do something good in the world with all I do.
Good, good. I'm very happy to have you. Ray, like I said before, met you on Instagram. Follow you through your Sakura fan film, so we'll talk about that in the interview. But I'm very happy to meet you and have the occasion to talk to you. So, when did you first become a Star Wars fan? When you become a Star Wars
I'm
fan?
a prequel baby, so
Ah,
I grew up
prequel. Okay.
with prequels, yes,
Yeah.
and then for some reason I diverted to something else, and I wasn't really into Star Wars as much. But then The Force Awakens came out,
Okay.
and that pulled me back into Star Wars, and since then I was just the hugest fan.
So you're
Uh,
prequel. Okay. Okay. It's fun.
prequel,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I love the prequel also. I know that sometimes in Star Wars fan, there's a lot of debate, prequel, sequel, and everything. But I did not
Another
know. I did.
classic,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right? It's another
Yeah.
classic, and now I like them.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And do you have a favorite Star Wars movie or character? It's another question. Just do you have a favorite character or
Well,
movie?
actually, yes, my favorite movie is Rogue One.
Rogue One. Okay. Yeah,
Rogue One's my favorite,
it's
and
a
my
good movie.
favorite characters, male would be Anakin, and
Yeah.
female it's Ahsoka Tano and Mara Jade.
Oh, cool. I'm Mara Jade. You do a lot of good cosplay, Mara Jade and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's okay. I didn't know that you were a prequel fan. I also like the prequel, sequel, and yeah, that's good. Um, so how did your journey into filmmaking and acting begin? So
They actually started at the same time,
okay,
funnily enough. So the same time where when I saw The Force Awakens, that was the same time that I decided I wanted to act professionally, and I enrolled into film school.
okay,
So it's funny how it just happened at the same time. And cosplay, I just got inspired to recreate Ray's outfit from the film,
mm-hmm.
and just to see where I can wear it and meet people wearing other costumes. I thought that would be very fun. And then the acting, I transitioned from, like I said, being a singer, songwriter, and
Mm-hmm.
performer into acting because I started to um, really get inspired by making those cinematic music videos. You know, when
Yeah,
the music was like a little film. So I started
mm-hmm.
acting a little bit, and I loved it so much. I started to imagine all kinds of stories and characters, and I realized that this is my true calling. It's not just the music, it's the storytelling.
Yeah.
And I realized that those stories are requiring from me to be more professional
Mm.
and more experienced.
Okay.
So I decided to go to school and learn acting and filmmaking so I can have all the tools I can possibly get to make these stories.
And after
So,
that, you have started to make some films. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
then I started
Yeah.
to act first, and then the more I learned, the more uh, I got into actually making those films rather than just
Uh,
being.
and your first character cosplay character was Ray.
It was great.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's fun. Okay, that's good. I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Yeah. And talking about cosplay, who also you also create amazing Star Wars cosplay. Did they help you when you're making your film and bring them this character to life? Is it helping you the cosplay part?
Yes, it did help, of course. I think mostly not even for me personally, but the community.
Okay.
So I can talk a lot about it, but
Yeah.
but I think that cosplay is such a wide range of crafts and talents,
Mm-hmm.
and cosplay can be on one hand very cosplay. So when you see a character, they do look like a cosplay. So it's
Mm-hmm.
exaggerated version of the character or creative version of the character. But
Mm-hmm.
then what I like to do, it's more towards the costuming. So it's recreating the costumes, the look of the character from the film, let's say, or television or whatever, as close as possible.
Okay, that's your
You look
goal. Yeah. Okay.
person
Okay.
cosplaying, it's not even a cosplay anymore, it's just a film costume replica.
Okay. Okay.
So there's a difference.
Yeah.
And I started to learn about that difference. And I think the more I was doing cosplay, the more I got dragged into that film cinematic
Yeah.
recreation of
Yeah.
costumes. And that's what your question comes to. Did it help me? Yes, because when I started to think about making films, I
Mm-hmm.
started to create those costumes with the film in mind. So I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking of Ayla Secura. I was thinking, okay, if I'm making this costume, I want it to be exactly like Ayla was in the prequels.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah.
It's not
Right.
really like cosplay, it's more of a film costume.
Okay. Okay.
So that helped me a lot. So my costumes that I could wear to the convention, it's the same costumes I could maybe modify a little bit and use for the film.
Okay. And
Because when you go into the con, you want to be more comfortable. So maybe you can swap some
yeah.
elements, you make the
Yeah.
makeup more so
Yeah.
it stands out better, and then you adjust the makeup for the film. And then, of course, cosplay community, because I
Yeah.
met so many amazing, talented people who also did those replicas that could easily be on screen and just
Yeah.
look accurate. So we could all come together and they could be in my film, and they love it a lot. So it's a lot of fun.
And it's a beautiful community, like you said. I find them and on Instagram and everywhere. But there's a beautiful community cosplay. Yeah.
It
And
is.
I think it's not the same thing when you do a photo shoot.
Mhm.
Like it's not the same. Are you using the same costume, or you adapt probably, or
Yeah,
the
I always adapt. It's almost
yeah.
like some complex costumes. I have several elements that I swap out
Okay.
depending on what I'm doing with it. I think Hera is the best example that I have for that. For conventions, I do
Yeah.
a very big makeup, artificial lashes,
Yeah.
lipstick, so it stands out. Conventional lighting is terrible, and then people take a lot of photos.
Okay.
So you pop,
Yeah.
and then when I do a photo shoot with Hera, I tone it down a little bit so it looks more
Okay.
real, but still looks good on camera.
Mm.
The camera is now closer to you.
Yeah.
But when I do a film, I did a cameo of Hera in two fan films of my friend Kiefer. So I appeared as Hera in that. So for that, I adjusted even more so Hera
Okay.
would look like a real person
Okay.
rather
So you
than
adjusted. Okay. Yeah.
and then some things, for example, my shoes are not as comfortable
Mm.
for convention, so I have two pairs, and I
Okay.
can wear the one that's a little more worn out for the
Okay.
shoes.
Yeah, it's
People won't
normal.
notice. Yeah, you don't know. It looks almost the same, but I can swap out things. There's something that's more comfortable, for example, or something that looks better on camera.
Yeah.
So yeah, but some cosplays costumes, they're just one. That's it. Like
Okay.
Ray.
Yeah.
Ray is Ray.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
comfortable. Yeah.
yeah,
You're
it works for everything. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Next question. Before Fulcrum, you create a 1 minute Ahsoka fan film. What inspired you to do that first project? What is inspired you to do that first project? So,
Ahsoka did. Because
Ahsoka.
that's
Yeah.
I Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, and I loved Ahsoka so much, like everyone else, of course.
Yeah.
And so I decided to do the costume, the
Okay.
cosplay, and after I've done it, I thought, well, Ahsoka is only animated. At that point, there was nowhere near the live
Mhm.
action. So I don't think it was planned at that time. And I thought, I think people would like to see Ahsoka
Yeah.
in live action. So
Yeah.
why don't I just get some friends together? Why don't we film a little cinematic snippet
Yeah.
of this costume and imagine what Ahsoka would look like on
Okay.
screen?
So it
So I
started
got
it started like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
because I wanted to see Ahsoka in live action, but she wasn't there, she didn't exist. So
No.
we decided to do it ourselves, and that was my first time I wore the whole costume. And since then, I adjusted a lot. I
Yeah.
adjusted molecular things.
Mm-hmm.
I swapped the makeup. I was developing my technique, how
Yeah.
to do it better. And so, yeah, that was like the first try. Like, let's just shoot it and see what happens.
And it was good. I just rewatched last week, and it's a good. It's short, but it's a good
Very short, yeah,
begin.
it's
Yeah,
very short,
beginning.
but
And it was your first fan film, Star Wars
yeah,
fan film. Yeah, was
yeah,
it?
it
Yeah.
was the first one, and it still
Okay.
took the whole day. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure. Sure.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Good. I didn't know that.
yeah, well,
Is
people
it?
received it so well. It got so much love um, that inspired me to keep going and
Yeah.
to come up with new ideas.
Okay. And after that, how did the idea of Fulcrum? So it was probably a continuation. What the idea of Fulcrum come about?
Yeah, it was the continuation because I wanted to do more with Ahsoka. That snippet was
Yeah,
so small, and I thought, well, now that we showed a little bit of Ahsoka in live action, like what happened if I had all of the resources I could have, and I could make a movie about Ahsoka and her
yeah,
becoming Fulcrum, like a full feature.
mm,
What if I made that movie, but since I don't have the whole budget that Lucasfilm has, then I decided to make a trailer of that.
yeah.
So
Okay,
what that movie existed, and we made a trailer out of it, what that trailer would look like. And so we wrote the script with Jason Grossman, who's the director of the film.
okay.
We wrote the whole script, and we put together the pieces from the whole movie and kind of
Mm-hmm.
shape what it would be. And again, got all the cool people together and made that film. And like I said, I already adjusted the look of Ahsoka
Yeah.
for live action specifically, so it was no longer cosplay. I wanted it to look like a live action
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka, and I wanted to hit all of the important beats in her story, like her making her lightsabers and
Yeah.
the rebels together and finally being named Fulcrum. So all
Yeah.
of those things that fans would love to see, what I
Yeah.
would love to see
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
And we made Fulcrum. That was a much bigger project because it's a trailer, so you'll get to visit different locations, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of characters. So that was a much bigger one.
Yeah, and my favorite part in that fan movie is the purification of the saber.
Yeah.
It's very beautifully done, and to see also Rex with you, and I don't know who portrayed Rex, but it was fun to see that, and the music also. Dan, I think no, that was not Dan. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah. So it was a beautiful fan film.
Thank you. That's a fun fact that no one knows. I think that the parts that we're using in the scene to make the lightsabers,
Yeah.
they're real. So they're not CGI, it's the real parts.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
they came from a NASA warehouse. So
Oh
where they
yeah.
keep spacecraft and all kinds of space things, satellites. And so all of these details, they go to this warehouse for
Oh yeah.
parts for whatever people might need them. So we went to that warehouse and I handpicked all of the small parts that were actually in space that
Oh
looked like
yeah.
a lightsaber. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
and the scene looks very great. Yeah. Yeah. So
thank you.
I really like that, and yes, it was the first time. I just watched a couple 1 year ago. I watched it the first time because I did not see it before, but it was fun to see because we did not have the Disney movie so it's a good. Did you been inspired by the book? I just reread the Ahsoka book. Did that one? I didn't. Have you been inspired by that book or to create the fulcrum?
Oh, a little bit. So
Yeah,
some parts of not
some
the
part.
whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we decided to use some parts of the lore, but then imagine some other parts.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we
Okay.
just used a scene from the book when she's talking to or Senator Organa, to Bail
Yeah,
Organa, and
yeah,
she says I'm Fulcrum now. So we
yeah.
use that exactly from the book. But yeah,
Okay, some part. Yeah.
some parts.
Just what is was the biggest challenge to do the Fulcrum movie? Like a big challenge? Did you had some challenge to do that first fan film?
Yeah, well, that one was more technically challenging because I had to do Ahsoka makeup every
Okay.
time. And we had,
Yeah.
I think, 7 days. We shot it for 7 days,
Okay.
and I had to do that makeup, and it takes 5 hours
Oh, okay.
every time. And I
Okay.
think the hardest part to shoot was the scene in the cave with the sabers,
Yeah.
and the scene in the dunes
Yeah.
with Obi-Wan. That was on the same day, and we had to drive for several hours to get to the cave on in sunrise when the
Oh,
sun is up, because
yeah.
there's a hole in the cave. It's the sun hits it like at 7 a.m. I think in the morning.
Okay. Okay.
So if you miss that time, you don't get this beautiful light. So we
Uh,
had to start filming at 7, which meant I had to do my makeup at night
oh, yeah.
and
Okay.
then drive
Okay.
at night, be at the location in the morning for
Okay.
sunrise. We were so tired. I was so tired, but
Sure. Yeah.
it was so worth it, though. It was so
Yeah.
worth it.
And the visual is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Very
was
beautiful.
physically challenging. That was the biggest challenge. Everything else was enjoyable and fun.
Yeah. Okay. After that, after Fulcrum, what inspired you to create the Sakura fan film and focus on Ayla Sakura? Maybe I don't pronounce Ayla, the good
It was
Ayla Sakura. Yeah, yeah. What inspired you to go with?
I had to do another film, and
Yeah,
I was already thinking of working on Ayla Sakura's cosplay, but I decided that, hey, if I'm already making Ayla, why not make a film about her? And
yeah,
so I was creating that costume also as a live action costume, not as a cosplay, but to make it accurate to the film as much as possible, and then use it to make another film. And I think I got into comics at that time a little bit, so I was researching a lot about Ayla Sakura and her background and all of
mm-hmm.
the pure facts about her. And I found so many interesting things that she's done and just her story, her relationships. It was so
Mm-hmm.
fascinating. And I was like, this character needs to be known more
Yeah.
because most people only know a little bit about her.
Yeah, we just see
But
her a couple of minutes in the episode
a
3.
bit, yeah, a little bit in the Clone Wars
Yeah,
too.
also, yeah.
She has such a rich history,
Mm.
and I wanted to make a short film and to show at least a little bit of that to get people interested enough so they would research
Yeah,
also and maybe read
yeah,
the comments or read whatever they could find about her, because she has just a great story and a great character.
yeah. I didn't know that character too much because when I saw your fan film 1 year ago, I didn't know that character. So when I do my reaction video, I didn't know all of that. So
Yes, yes.
make me search about Sakura, and it was very interesting to find more about her and yeah, and the character. So yeah. So what was your favorite scene in Sakura to film? Like your favorite scene to film in Sakura?
It was the lightsaber training scene.
Yeah. Okay. It's hard to spin like that. It's hard.
Yeah,
I tried myself.
it is hard. I had almost zero experience with lightsabers before filming it,
Yeah.
so I knew how to do like OBN and some simple
Yeah.
things for Ayla, because she's such a master Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's so good with her lightsaber. So I just wanted to challenge myself and to do my best to learn the choreography well and to look like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was training a lot. I was training a lot for that. And then you also add the heels, the costume, the laku,
Yeah.
the desert that we were in, and that was very hard. But same as with Ahsoka, it just the physical challenge was
Yeah. Physical, probably.
with her, all while being in body paint too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my favorite. That was my favorite part to film, though, because you get to play finally when you're in a costume and you rehearsed
Mm-hmm.
and to come to play. So that was my favorite part.
And you had I like that that fan film when the clone the Commander Bly
Bye.
and
Mhm.
try to shoot and you say try harder. So yeah, I like your fan film. That's one too.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
relationship in that scene. It
yeah,
shows the relationship between them too.
and it's
And I
fun to
think
see that developed? Because like you said, we don't see a lot of Sakura in episode 3, and also in Clone Wars a bit more in Clone Wars. But yeah, it's fun to
Yeah,
see.
but she has in Clone Wars, she's very how to say, almost like one-sided. You
Yeah,
only see the stoic Jedi part, but
mm,
she's a very playful, very fun
yeah,
character also. And I wanted to show that as well, that how she treats her clones. She's professional, but she's still she's a commander and a leader, but she still teases them, and
yeah,
she's still like, very much a woman, and
yeah.
uh, she has this fun relationship with her clones. So
And
I
it's
thought,
it's very well presented in your movie. Yeah, I like that. Um, um, I just check my question. What was the biggest? No, I just told you that question. The biggest challenge. Yeah, just told me that the
yes.
hills and everything. Looking back at Fulcrum and Sakura, what do you think improved the most between those two fan film when you have done the two?
Oh,
What
good.
improved the most between the two? Yeah.
That's a good question. Um, I think sometimes the improvement is tied to your resources
Yeah.
because if you get access to better tools,
Hmm.
then you can do more things and
Yeah.
you can learn more things. Sometimes not. Like as an actor, for example, you can improve obviously just by practicing and
Yeah.
studying and learning. But as a filmmaker, for me, I was improving in terms of my directing eye, creative directing too.
Hmm.
So how I can use the gear that I have, how I can plan my shots,
Mm.
how I can be more detailed with my storytelling because it's such a short film. So
Mm.
every frame matters, every
Yeah.
shot matters, every line matters. So I learned to be more meticulous about that, and I also was learning more about action sequences because for me that's a challenging part,
Mm.
how to do action sequences well.
Yeah.
So I think that was my biggest improvement, just
Between the
learn,
two. Okay.
refine all of these things, and then overall the end product is also better.
Yeah, and also like in the Sakura fan film, when the saber closed, it was very well done. I don't know how you do you have done that, but it was when Sakura put the
Mhm.
saber at Commander Blee,
Yeah,
when she closed, it's very well done. Probably CGI, no, not CGI, but is it animate or
yeah. The blade is animated, so we
yeah,
had to cheat a little bit because of that shot when I,
yeah, yeah,
the last
yeah.
shot when it's going to his neck. Yeah, there's no blade in there, so we took out the blade, and it was
Okay,
only the hilt, and
okay,
then the blade was added. Yeah, and
okay,
then I was just, I was rehearsing everything, every movement, because for Ayla, it's just turning on and off the lightsaber. It's
yeah,
very second nature. She doesn't think about it.
yeah,
So she's already on the call with Obi-Wan, and the lightsaber just
yeah.
goes off. You hang up the phone, the same thing.
Yeah.
So she's already.
Ouais,
So
yeah,
it had to look very nature. You can just go and look at the button and turn it
yeah.
off. You know,
No.
just mix
Okay,
it back on her belt without even looking.
okay,
So everything had to be deliberate.
yeah, and it's well acted. So, and like I said, that impressed me when I have done the reaction video. Yeah, that part, closing of the lightsaber. Yeah. Um, what did you learn from making these two fan film? What did you learn in general? Lesson learned?
Well, a lot of things, of course, but
Yeah,
I guess the important one is that I'm learning to find my own viewpoint as a filmmaker, to
yeah.
find my voice.
Okay.
So if you compare the first one I did and the last one I'm working on right now,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll see that there's a certain voices being developed, certain signatures being developed, certain things I like to show more than the others,
Okay.
and I still try to keep it within the Star Wars style.
Mm-hmm.
It still feels like Star Wars, but do my own little
Your
signature.
signature. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
signature
signature.
too.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously, I grew as an actor. I like to dig really deep in the source material.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell my story, it's not superficial. I try to hide as much as I can, even though you don't hear it, maybe in the movie, or you don't see it, it's still there. The research is still there. And everything that's happening in the film, it's supported by something else.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you start looking into it, you'll find all of these things like why is that
Detail.
thing mentioned? Why is that person there at this time? So obviously not everything, is
No, no.
it's very hard to do, but most of the things, the important things and other things and details, I try to weave it together. So
Okay.
if you're a really big nerd and you know a lot,
Yeah.
then like, oh, oh, I know why this is there. Oh, I know how this connects to
And
something else.
yeah,
I like to me it's a good challenge also to do
yeah.
that. And this is such a rich universe that you can do
Mhm.
that to know it.
And the fan like that, the detail, and they see everything, yeah, in the
Mhm.
movie. Yeah, different. Yeah,
That's why
it's a
I
good.
love your reactions like yours, because you can see people watching and some people who are new or they get to discover it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they know and then they get to recognize those
Yeah.
Easter eggs and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, they got that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, but it's a good thing that you put detail and you put put research, you put time to the character, and it's when you watch, you see that. So it's a good thing. Um, as a filmmaker and actress, what kind of project you would love to work on in the future? Oh,
Well, actually, I decided, I just go for what I want to see, so I make it. So right now I'm working on the project that I wanted to see,
okay.
but didn't see. So I'm working on a new film right now,
Oh, cool.
and that's gonna be the best one so far. And so, but if we put that one aside, I'm not gonna say what it is yet. Well, maybe I would do another Ahsoka film.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I would love to play Ahsoka again. And we also had that idea of making a Bo-Katan film,
Oh
a
yeah,
short.
I saw that you cosplay also, Bukatan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have her too. But I don't know that one. I'm still thinking about that because
yeah.
it's all budgets and I pay for all the films myself. So it can be. I have a lot of big ideas and
Okay.
not cheap ideas. So I have to
Okay.
what I do. So, but maybe the next one that I'm gonna do is gonna be an original one
Okay.
because it's good that I can get to do fan films and use the existing characters. But I think it would be really fun to try
Yeah.
to create my own film within the Star Wars universe
Yeah.
that uses
Yeah.
all new characters,
Yeah.
so that it's something new and see
Huh.
how people like that. So yeah, a lot of ideas.
Yeah, it's not, it's not we all it's good to have ideas. Sometimes we don't have we have to choose, like you said. But I really anticipate your next project. I hope to see that in the future. Yeah.
It's fine.
Um, so next question. What advice could you I know, I'm sorry. You respond a little bit on the question. Are you currently working on any new film or project that you can tell us about? If you're not, it's okay.
This one, sorry, I'm working at one at a time. So
Yeah.
this one is in post-production right now.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it will be out soon. And that one, it it was supposed to be like a 1 minute film, like it was
Okay.
with the soap first. But then it just kept growing and growing, and now it's a legit short film.
Ah, cool.
And so it's not the biggest thing I've done, and I'm like, oh my goodness! So the VFX alone, I don't know how
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
but I'm very determined to finish it. So,
Yeah.
so hopefully soon in a few months it'll be
Oh,
out.
yes. I really happy to anticipate that one. I will be very happy to see that one too. um. So, what advice you give us to someone who wants to start making a Star Wars fan film? Do you have some advice for them?
Hmm. Yeah, I get asked that every now and then. Um, so the advice would be if you're just beginning, if you are not really a filmmaker, you're just starting out, then it's important to find people who can guide you and who can
Mm,
teach you.
yeah.
So you learn as you go as much as you can. So
Mm,
just find someone who can help you and support you. And maybe don't make a big project right away because
yeah.
it's could be money and time, and then you'll realize that if you could go back and redo it, you would. So maybe it's better to start with something small. We could just try out things and
Yeah.
see how the whole process works. It's like a test drive. And then when you're more confident, then you can have more control, and then people will listen to you and follow you more and more. And if you're a professional filmmaker, you just never done a Star Wars film, and you want to make one, then it's much easier, of course.
Yeah.
So have a good idea that people are passionate about,
Mm.
that people would love to come on board to do, because then everyone will be that driving force, and it'll be so much more fun.
To do
And
it. Yeah.
respect the source material always.
Mm.
Do your best to honor the original, the original material that you're working with, but also don't be afraid, like I was talking earlier, to bring your own voice to it,
Yeah.
and make it fun, make it interesting, make it meaningful. And for me, the good story and good characters, it's the most important thing. It's not the budget, it's
Mm.
not the VFX, it's the good story with a heart, good characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, and having those characters that people care about and they're interested to look at them. It's not
Yeah.
about actors being amazing or super experienced, but it's about those characters coming to life.
Mm.
You cast people who are just good on screen and who really are like the characters, then it's already much easier. Because I
Mm.
know people are like, well, I can't afford to hire professional actors, or I don't have any friends who I can ask to
Yeah.
be in my film.
Yeah.
So this way, if you get the character who matches the actor really well, and people who are just natural on camera, they can do it. And
Yeah.
so, and people will love those characters.
And they will be attached. And sometimes we like we like to be like I want to be like Luke Skywalker. I want to be people are doing that, and they want to be as their
They
hero,
feel like,
yeah, or
yeah, but
villain.
good writing is very important, because a very good actor can help bad writing, but if you have vice versa, if you have amazing writing, then an actor who's not as experienced
Mm.
will still pull it off.
Yeah.
So I think good writing is very important.
Huh. Thank you for that advice. Yeah, I don't want to start a fan film myself, but it's a good advice for everybody who's watching. Yeah. Um, is there anything we'd like to say to the fan before we finish? Like, do you have anything you want to say to the fan or watching right now?
Yes, I'm just so thankful to everyone who has been supporting me and watching the films, and like you, and doing reactions and spreading the word, because that's why I do it. I do it to impact people in a good way, to get them inspired, to get them to start something of their own, and even inspire them to act in real world and to participate in some cause that they care
Mm,
about. 'Cause Star Wars is
yeah,
all about fighting for the right thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So whatever it is for you, like for me, it's animal charity, which you can
Mm,
support, by the way, on my
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. You can talk
well,
about that too. Yeah, 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 yeah,
yes. So
yeah,
uh, be a good fan. Don't
yeah,
be mean to each other.
yeah, exactly.
Enough bad things already happening in the world. This
Yeah,
is our happy place, so keep it happy.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you. We can have so much debate in Star Wars fans sometimes. So I
We'll
say,
have to be
I say sometimes just it's okay. Everybody can like some like prequel, not like prequel. It's okay. We can just have
yeah, it's okay.
fun.
Everyone whatever they like.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And how we can follow you? You can how we can follow you if we want to follow you on Instagram or yeah,
Yes,
okay.
you can follow me. This is for convenience.
Yeah,
This is my YouTube, Ray Kennex, and my Instagram, Ray.Kennex. So you can follow me there for updates, and my new film will be on the on the YouTube channel, and on my Instagram you'll see all the charity information and
yeah.
all my new work.
Good. And about the charity, you can talk about a little bit about the charity that you support, the animal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mostly work with animal rescues and
yeah,
shelters. There's a
yeah,
lot of them in Ukraine.
yeah.
Some of them do evacuations from the front lines. Some of them just take stray animals, the people that have left and abandoned the animals too. So there's a lot
Okay.
of need right now. A lot of animals that suffer from
Mm,
both the war activities, and also from people who have been fleeing. So
yeah,
some don't have the unfortunately capacity to take their animals with them, like farm animals, for example. Some people just unfortunately didn't make it, and their animals were left behind. So I'm helping a lot of bigger and smaller organizations, smaller volunteers. So if you'd like to help me with that, I have a lot of information on my Instagram. I donate a lot of what I make from my Etsy, from my merch that I create. And I do a lot of really fun fundraisers and auctions with all kinds of Star Wars collectibles.
Okay.
So I can also to support those charities. So I'd be very thankful for everyone for any help.
And I will probably can put a link in the descriptions too if you want, and if you can help Ray with that, it would be a good thing because animal we don't sometimes we think about people, but there's animals too that can suffer from everything.
Yeah, when you need so much help for everyone, it's just not possible to help absolutely everyone unless all people come together, and even then it's hard. So that's why some people choose to help people, some people choose to help animals, and whoever does what they can.
Yeah, exactly. That is beautiful when you see that people are helping other, and it's a good cause. So I encourage you to help Ray with that. Ray, thank you again for accepting the invitation to come and do this interview with me. It was a pleasure to meet you, to talk to you. If you enjoyed that, just leave a like on the video, and if you want to follow Ray, there's her Instagram account and YouTube account. I will put in the description also. And if you want to follow me, you can do it also if you want.
Yes, follow.
And so thank you, Ray.
Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.